Welcome back to the channel, everyone. For those of you that do not know me and are new here, I'm Asher Hayho. I am an Olympic weightlifter. I just turned 18, so I'm now 18 years old. I compete in Olympic weightlifting and have done that for the past 10 years, but I've only taken training seriously since October of 2024 after I bombed out at my nationals and decided that I didn't want to continue on this pathway of being mediocre, and so I decided to lock in. And I went from 90 kilo snatch to 120 kilo snatch in 8 months. I'm currently snatching 125 and just snatched 130 off of blocks just 2 weeks ago. And so I do know Olympic weightlifting because I've walked the walk. I've went from 90 kilo snatch to 120 kilo snatch while running my own business. I've also taken multiple people from 90 kilo snatch to over 100 kilo snatch in less than 6 months. And so today I'm going to be giving you a complete breakdown about how you can go from 90 kilo snatch to 100 kilo snatch in less than 6 months. And so listen up, take notes. This is going to be a very good one. And so let's jump right in. We're going to be going over 4 categories, and these are going to be the most important categories that you need to drill down on. First one is going to be mindset, nutrition, mobility, and then training. These are not in order of importance, but they are the top 4 most important things that you need to get down. And we're going to go in order about how you can master these things and how you can implement them into your training. And so you can go from 90 kilo snatch to 100 kilo snatch while having your full-time job or while running your own business. All right, so let's jump right into the first category. And this is going to actually be the most important one, because even if you have a good training system, a good mobility plan, and you have amazing nutrition, you're never going to get from 90 to 100 because everything starts off in your mind. You have to think it before you do it. And so if you do not have a good mindset, then you're never going to accomplish the goal that you have. And so the first thing that we can do to get a good mindset is going to be having a strong why. And not just any why. It's going to be a why we want to get to the 100 kilo snatch. Why do we want to accomplish that goal? And the first question to ask ourselves is, why are we wanting to train right now? Why are we going in there and training hard? And so let's take an example, Joe. Joe wants to go from 90 kilo snatch to 100 kilo snatch. And his reason to doing that is for fun, because he likes Olympic weightlifting. But as soon as he has hard times, it's not going to be fun anymore. This is not going to push him towards his goal because it is not strong enough. It is not going to hold under pressure. Think about it. Would you want to continue on a journey that is difficult if the only reason that you got on that journey was to have fun on it? No. So now let's take an example. Now, Tom wants to show his kids it's possible. Tom wants to show his kids what a good role model is. Tom wants to show his kids to never give up on something. He said he wants to get to 100 kilo snatch. And so he's not going to give up on it because he wants to show his kids that this is what you're supposed to do as a man. You are not supposed to give up on something just because it's hard. And so who do you think is going to get to the 100 kilo snatch? Joe or Tom? Tom is definitely going to get to the 100 kilo snatch because he actually has a reason that is going to push him when he is insanely sore, when he's tired, when he hasn't seen progress in a while. It's going to push him a lot farther than it is going to be for Joe. And so what you need to do is sit down and find a reason why you want to get to that 100 kilo snatch. Find a deep reason that is going to push you through the hard times. Not just because you like Olympic weightlifting, not because you want to have fun, but because you want to do it for your kids, for your wife, for your girlfriend, for whatever reason it may be. And then the second part about the mindset is going to be envisioning. You want to envision the goal. You want to envision everything. Even if this goal is so far out and you're at like 70 kilo snatch, it doesn't matter if you're at 70, 80, 90, 99. You need to envision the goal constantly. You want to envision you hitting all the numbers on your programming. So you have already hit it in your mind. And so when you get into the gym, you are going to hit the numbers. Every single day before training, you need to envision yourself hitting those numbers. Then every single week, you need to envision you having a good training week. And then you need to envision yourself hitting the 100 kilo goal so many times. So when it comes to actually going after that goal and going for that attempt, that you hit it because you've already hit in your mind. Your mind is more powerful than you think. If you have a good envisioning that you know you're going to hit that goal, you're going to hit it. It is just a matter of time. Now, the second thing is going to be nutrition. Now, the major things are going to be no fast food. Why? Because you need to think about yourself as a high-performing car. If you put in bad fuel into that car, do you think that car is going to run well? Absolutely not. But if you put in good fuel into that car is going to run extremely well. And so fast food is full of oils, it's full of sugars, it's full of chemicals. It is not going to help fuel your body. It's not going to help sustain your body. It's not going to help your body recover after hard training sessions and after all your work that you've done that day. Also, you need to not have high sugar foods. I would recommend cutting out sugar completely. Now, you can spoil yourself once in a while. You can have a cookie once a week, have an ice cream once a week, but you cannot be having sugar every single night. You cannot be having cake after dinner. You can't be having a slice of pie, having this and that, because it's going to kill your recovery and then going to kill your gains in the gym because you're not recovered enough to get into the gym. You do not need to have an insanely strict diet plan to get to the 100 kilo snatch. Absolutely not. These are all the things that I did personally that helped me go from 90 kilo snatch to 120 kilo snatch in less than 8 months. Now, after you cut out these things, you need to cut out energy drinks because, like I said, they are full of high sugar. Even the no sugar ones, they are full of chemicals, and those chemicals are going to ruin your hormones. They're going to ruin your training abilities. So, no energy drinks. And also, no pre-workout as well, because pre-workout is what? Just full of chemicals. What I would suggest, if you guys really need a pre-workout thing, what you're going to do is have a double espresso. You're going to have some high carbs. And what I mean by that is you're going to have some fruit, which is going to be pomegranates, and I'll put some honey on there for extra carbs, and that is going to, boom, fuel your training like crazy. Now, nutrition is very important because, like I said, if you're not fueling your body well, you're not going to be able to get good results out of it because your body's not performing to its highest capacities. So remember, take care of the nutrition. What I do for nutrition is going to be like, I would say a 95 to 5, okay? 95% of the time I'm eating clean. The other 5% is where I indulge a little bit. I have a cookie. I have an ice cream. I don't have an insanely strict diet like bodybuilders. We can indulge a little bit, but we do not want to be indulging so much that we have a pot belly, we have a beer belly. We want to be a good role model for our wife, for our kids. And how is that a good role model? To show that we cannot even take care of our bodies, we cannot stay healthy. What kind of role model is that? And so that is nutrition. Take care of it. Next is going to be mobility. Now, mobility is a small part of improving, but it is very important and very beneficial. Now, mobility, you do not need to take hours out of your day to do mobility. What you need to do is have a consistent routine with that. That is what I did. I implemented a 10-minute mobility program every single morning for over 3 months just so I could touch my toes. Okay? I was very immobile. I could not touch my toes standing. I'm not even joking. My friends all knew that. And that held me back. I was stuck at 90 kilo snatch and could not touch my toes. So I implemented this routine and did it consistently. As you can see, it's not a half an hour, not an hour mobility program. It is a 10-minute mobility program that I did every single morning. And that resulted in so many benefits. I was not prone to injuries at all. I was way more relaxed. And I was not as tight when I was working. I was not as tight when I went to bed because my body was a lot more relaxed after my hard training sessions, after working for a long time. Then after you implement a consistent morning routine, you want to do 15 to 20-minute mobility warm-up protocol. Now, it is going to include 10 minutes of mobility, but then 10 minutes of moving. It's going to be something active to get all of your body working and warmed up. I give a custom one to every single one of my clients. So what I would suggest for you guys is doing something like push-ups, sit-ups, back extensions, good mornings, things like that to activate the muscles that you're going to use for your training session so you can actually have a good training because your body is loose and then it is also warmed up and ready to get under heavy loads after a long work day. And now we dive into the last one, and it is going to be training. Now, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be your training system. Now, the importance of a training system that is adapted to your lifestyle, I cannot stress about how important and how beneficial that is for you to get to that 100 kilo snatch. Because if you have a training system that is built around your weaknesses, your schedule, and everything about your lifestyle, you're going to improve 3 times as fast, even 4 to 5 times faster than you would on any regular training system. You cannot follow systems that are built for college athletes. You are following programs that are pre-built or group coaching that is for the athlete that does not have the outside stresses of life. Those coaching programs that you find online are built for people that recover very fast and people who do not work 8, 10, 12 hours every single day. And so a training system that is built around your lifestyle would help you improve 10 times as fast as you would if you were following a pre-built program. The difference between pre-built programs and having a system that is fully adapted to you is going to be these major things. Pre-built systems do not change. If you buy a $50 coaching and the coach sends you a Google Doc, do not expect to get to the 100 kilo snatch with that. Why? Because this program was built once 10 years ago for an athlete that struggled with their first pull. You, Tom, do not struggle with the first pull. You probably struggle with the turnover, or you struggle with the push under. You do not struggle with the first pull. But that pre-built program does not know that. And so you're not going to get a beneficial training program or training block out of that pre-built program because it does not change at all to accommodate your weaknesses and accommodate you. Now, a training system that is built around your life will change. And that is insanely beneficial because if one day you're struggling with the turnover, say, and then boom, we fix that in 3 weeks, then you all of a sudden struggle with overhead stability, so we can adapt to that weakness. And now, boom, after that, we have fixed the overhead stability, we have fixed the turnover, and then we can progress faster and faster because our program is constantly changing to adapt your weaknesses. And it will also adapt to your lifestyle. Because say, what if all of a sudden you have to work a 12-hour shift and you can't make the training that day? We immediately switch your training so then it accommodates for that missed day, and boom, you're still on track to reach that 100 kilo goal in less than the 6 months. But guess what? That pre-built training is not going to do any of that. It is just going to stay the same percentages, and hope to get you to that 100 kilo snatch, but is actually never going to be fully adapted to you because that coach just made it one time and sent it to you and wished for the best. And so the most important part about that is training system adapted to your lifestyle is actually going to get you to the 100 kilo snatch. Pre-built programs are going to maybe help you get 1 or 2 kilos, but they're never going to help you improve the fastest and most beneficial and with the most long-lasting improvements. And that is my basic breakdown about how you can go from 90 kilo snatch to 100 kilo snatch in less than 6 months with this information. Take it as you will. But if you guys want to know the most beneficial thing is get a training system that is adapted for your life. And so if you guys actually want to get from 90 to 100 to 110 to 120 kilo snatch in 6 months, DM me and I will take care of you and get you to that 100 to that 120 kilo snatch in less than 6 months with your full-time job. Hope you guys learned a lot from that. See you in the next one. Much love.